stuff. I think that's something that is very interesting. And we've seen that grow over the years with a lot of builders sort of making their way onto our screens, both here and in Ireland, obviously, and around the world. And there will be people listening thinking, I fancy a bit of that. That sounds like a good gig to have. How did you get into doing TV?
Yeah, well, it is. All these things are a funny story, I suppose. But I can just clarify one thing. When you're a TV builder, you are officially a Z-list celebrity. So make sure if you're listening to this, you realise what you're aiming for is to become a Z-list celebrity. So, and look, it was a kind of a chance meeting that got us started. There's a show in Ireland called Room to Improve, an architect called Dermot Bannon. And the very first series of that show, we were asked by an engineer that we had done previous work with would be interested in, the way he put it was, helping out on a TV show. So then we got a phone call from the company, the production company. We met with them, and very quickly afterwards we were on site. So it was a bit of a, I suppose, baptism of fire, because, it was the first time that show had ever been filmed in Ireland, so I didn't really fully understand the concept of the show. And then it was an actual live building project, and you're under the microscope very quickly, and all your work is being filmed, and I suppose there's nerves that come with that. But I suppose I just relaxed into it, and I got on very well with Dermot early in the process. And I was quite comfortable speaking to the camera for whatever reason. I don't really know why. I was just relaxed doing that. And I had a bit of banter with Dermot. I had a little bit of a row with him. There was a few, high drama moments, and they seemed to enjoy that part of it. But at that point, I was only one builder on 6 shows of one series. So then they asked me to do the second series. This time they asked me to be the builder on 2 of the shows. And went from there. So the concept of that show is that he's the architect on every job, but there's a different builder on each show. Sometimes the builder gets some good screen time, sometimes they don't. I suppose they gave me a little bit more screen time than others, and then they kept asking me to come back and do the show. So that was the start of it. And then after that, it morphed into, I was approached then to go and do the second show, which is called Home Rescue, which is still being recorded at the moment. We just finished our last series just before Christmas. It went on screen, and our next series is in the plans. And I think there's some exciting news that this year it used to just be a half an hour long. Now it's going to an hour long, and it's a different concept really. It's a makeover show where myself and an architect called Roisin Murphy, the two of us, work together with our teams, and we go in and we basically got 3 days to blitz a house and correct all the wrongs that have been done before, and basically make the house more usable for the home owner. I really had to decide, did I want to do it or not? When I was asked to do the home rescue show, I actually said no, because we were so busy and I just didn't think that I'd have the time to do it. But then once I met them and I kind of got the full concept of the show, I really enjoyed it. And it wasn't until it actually went on TV that I realised how much you were actually giving to the homeowners. Like, it is a real feel-good factor and a real kind of give back. People who have got, some sort of trauma in their life is usually who are the participants involved in it. So you could be rearranging a house to make it more accessible for somebody who may have a disability, or sometimes life just gets on top of people and they've got a lot of clutter in the house and the house isn't functioning. So we clear that out completely, and then we redesign and hand the house back to them. So it's a very honest show, and it certainly gives people an insight into what you can do on a fairly small budget with Home Rescue, whereas the other show was a full-scale job. It could have been a full extension renovation, and that show was actually developed. The Room to Improve show, which I was originally on, is now like a household staple in Ireland. It's on series 18 or 19, I think. So it's progressed itself, and I kind of morphed off and done a different show.